Chinese cars usually suffer from two ailments. They look shit and they drive shit, but not this one. This is the Leapmotor B05, and not only does it look cool, it also drives pretty darn well. It's got clean lines, proper proportions, and none of that fake aggression that a lot of entry-level Chinese EVs have these days. Some of the smaller features are quite nice too. They haven't gone crazy with chrome, which is good. You've got some black accents here and there. The wheels look good. And also flush fit door handles, which I don't love, but they do look nice. And the frameless doors, that is quite a bit of a fancy feature. Unlike the other two Leapmotor vehicles, this one actually looks good. They're kind of, you know, the B10, the C10, they're kind of forgettable, like pretty much every other Chinese vehicle out there. But this thing looks good. Even the rear end, it's sleek, it's modern, got a little integrated spoiler. I do like what they've done. Slim LEDs at the rear, at the front as well. The signature headlights, it all looks really good. And there's 5 colors, including kind of puce-like yellow. I think that's the hero color. Normally this is where I talk about the price and I show you the interior and the boot and all that sort of stuff, but nah. Right now we're gonna drive this because it is seriously engaging. All right, so launch control is pretty straightforward. I like this setup. You put it in sport mode. Everything is done through the touchscreen. We'll get onto that a little bit later. Some people love it, some people don't. So you put it in sport mode and then you just foot on brake, foot on throttle, little thing comes up on the screen and it's not coming up because I'm probably not in sports mode. Okay, let's try that again. Foot on brake, foot on throttle, launch control activated, and boom. And you know what? That is not very fast at all. Launch control activated and off the brake and we're off, and that feels a bit flaccid off the mark. I don't know, about 6.7 seconds. That feels more like about 8 seconds or more. But, you know, like launch control in a cheap Chinese EV, I think that's pretty cool. I don't mind it. Interestingly, that 0 to 40, 0 to 50 feels like it's been throttled back a bit. It feels like it could go a bit more because when you're driving along at faster speeds, roll-on acceleration is surprisingly good. One of the most impressive aspects of this car is the way it handles. This thing feels like no other Chinese car out there. It really is engaging to drive. It's satisfying. The steering is pretty good, a little bit lifeless, but fairly direct, which is nice. But the chassis is very, very good. It sits flat through tight corners, and having that rear wheel drive layout, you know, you're pushing instead of pulling, it punches out of corners very, very nicely. Not a lot of body roll either. Look at that. Let's catch up to the motorbike. You don't say that very often. The platform underneath this vehicle is very, very stiff, which is good, but all the other bits around it are quite sophisticated too. You've got McPherson front suspension, fully independent. You've got multi-link rear, and it's got a 50-50 weight distribution as well, which helps it pivot through corners really nicely. Like, it tips into corners well, it pushes out of them, it feels quite light on its feet, quite agile, and it's easily one of the most engaging EVs I've driven, certainly at this price. I don't think anything else can touch it. The B10 little SUV is good, this is better. The secret sauce is that it has been tuned in Italy by the Maserati group. They won't say that, but this has had input from the Italians and they've done a fantastic job. The really interesting flip side to that is how well it rides as well. Comfort levels, the suspension soaks up bigger hits surprisingly easily. Granted, the roads we're driving on here are some of the smoothest I've ever driven on, but we've found some curbs to hit through some of these little villages and things like that, and it does soak up the bumps really, really well. Okay, so we've established that this is a very, very nice car to drive, and in terms of, you know, its Chinese competition, it is head and shoulders above pretty much anything else out there, right out of the box. That's positive. But then if you go, okay, I'm thinking about this you know, little warm hatch, what's it like compared to a Golf GTI? Well, a Golf GTI is about 60 grand. That's a lot more money, but that Golf GTI will go from 0 to 100 in 5.9 seconds. It's much faster. However, there is talk of a more high performance version. Well, it's not talk, I've seen it. I was in China and I got to have a bit of a look at it at the Beijing Motor Show. the Ultra version, so the Leapmotor B05 Ultra, it's got more power, so it goes from 160 to 180 kilowatts, more torque, goes from 240 newton meters to 320 newton meters, and the 0 to 100 acceleration, same as the Golf GTI, 5.9 seconds. And I reckon that car's going to be a lot less than 60 grand, and it's going to handle better than this, which is kind of astonishing. I think it could be a seriously good, seriously affordable hot hatch, and I think that's something we all need. I think back when I was a young whippersnapper, there were heaps of really affordable little 4-cylinder buzz boxes, and there's not many of them around, and I think Leapmotor could really own this sort of this arena, this segment. I'm a little bit excited.
Leapmotor is emerging as a top-ranked startup globally in 2026, regularly outselling rivals like Li Auto and Zeekr. Sales were up 81% last month in China, with 81,000 deliveries in May 2026 alone. Like BYD, it produces its own powertrains and batteries in-house, so the brand can undercut competitors on price while protecting its margins. Chuck in impressive interior quality that feels better than many of its budget Chinese rivals, and on paper, this is a runaway success story. But why are Australian sales on life support? Lack of dealerships? Brand awareness? It's all of that and more. With so many new Chinese brands flooding the market, it's hard to know where to start. Anyway, let's check out the interior.
It's very minimalistic like the other Leapmotor vehicles, and you've got a 14.6-inch large touchscreen here, a small 8.8-inch touchscreen here. Yes, it's pretty much buttonless, which is a bit annoying for myself, but if you own a vehicle like this, you will get used to it. And the operating system is quite good. They've got the Snapdragon processor. It's very quick to respond to touch inputs, and it looks fantastic, very, very high resolution. And they've done a couple of things which I really like. For instance, there's a shortcut button on the steering wheel. You tap it once and it turns off all your ADAS things. So it's not bleeping and beeping too much, although it did kind of beep and bleep when I was driving before. Double tap, and this is cool. It comes up instantly with the adjustment for the wing mirrors, which is via the steering wheel. Still a little bit annoying, but the fact that you can quickly get in there and bang straight into the options and adjust them, I think that's a good thing. Maybe that's just me. What do you reckon? Do you like buttonless setups like this and just a touchscreen? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. All right, next thing to talk about are the seats. They're actually pretty comfortable. The lateral bolstering isn't amazing, but this sort of, I think they call it eco leather, feels really nice. I mean, it's obviously not real leather, but it's really nice, soft and supple, and it does give this vehicle a rather upmarket feel. I mean, yes, there are some scratchy plastics on the dashboard, but most of the major touch points, the steering wheel, the seats, this area here, the doors especially, all of it has a really nice, soft feel. Like there is a sense in this car that it feels more like a Volkswagen or something. It's a much more elevated ambience than I was expecting for what could be $35,000. Storage solutions are good. You've got a reasonable sized bin here, 2 cup holders here. I like this little area under here with USB-A and USB-C. And we'll talk quickly about battery options. I'm going to refer to my notes here. You get a 56.2 kilowatt hour battery, which is likely to be in the entry-level model. This will be the 35K model. That's the design trim. And that'll give you around 400 kilometers WLTP. Then you've got the up-spec battery, which gives you 482 kilometers. That's a 67.1 kilowatt hour battery, and that's going to be likely in the style variant. So yeah, the 2 different model grades similar to the B10 and C10 from Leapmotor. And from what we've discovered on this drive, those numbers seem very much achievable. This is quite an energy efficient vehicle. Okay, the back seat, and this is not too bad. Like there's pretty good legroom. I like the flat floor, and the seats are quite contoured. I've got a nice comfy posture in the back. Headroom is tight, especially if this is closed. When it's open, there's a bit more. That's not too bad. But look, overall, comfort levels like the front seats, you know, the seat cushions are quite good. They're not too firm, but they're not too soft as well. They're quite supportive. What else have we got here? We've got a fold-out armrest with a couple of cup holders, spring loaded too. That's nice. This little area here is for like a suction cup like bowl for the kids and stuff like that, so they don't spill. 2 USB ports, USB-C, USB-A, little hidey hole there. Plus you've got 2 air vents. I like that. Door pockets here. You've got a little bit of storage and attention to detail. Little reading lights here. That's good. Coat hooks. I mean, they've done a good job here. I do like it. Okay, this is an EV from the ground up. So let's check out the front. No frunk. Well, that's interesting. I wonder if you could get like a aftermarket tub to put in there, maybe. I don't know. Okay, the boot. Here's the button here. Pop. And it's not power operated, but I don't mind that. It opens pretty quick, smooth, nice pneumatics. And here you have 345 litres of boot space. That's a lot more than something like the Corolla. So you can see with the camera equipment in here, the gimbal, it's not too bad. And you don't have a whole lot of amenity. There's a little LED light, but no bag hooks. Like a lot of the rest of the car, this cargo blind feels really high quality. Like just so much of this car feels good. The way the doors thud shut, it feels like it's pretty well built. It feels like a quality vehicle. It feels more like a Zeekr than, say, a Cherry. There's a pecking order we're starting to see in the Chinese car domain, and it definitely feels like Leapmotor is up there. So the new Leapmotor B05 coming to Australia later in 2026, probably August, September, something like that. And you've got Maserati tuned suspension. It drives great. It's got lots of range. It's well equipped, competitive price, and when the Ultra model comes, it'll have a Golf GTI rival for a fraction of the price. There is a lot to like here, but this is a very brief first impression, if you like, and we need to get this on the road in Australia, which we will do in due course. There's still a lot to know about this car, but I am quietly confident this could be the vehicle that puts Leapmotor on the map in Australia.